The Nintendo DS is capable of delivering some incredible looking games, but when the system was first being revealed, we had no idea what to expect. That's why tech demos are important to show to investors, journalists and us at home what the console has in store. That's why in today's video I'll be checking out a bunch of Nintendo DS tech demos and discussing my thoughts on them. This will focus on tech demos that were shown off at E3 2004. In terms of tech demos that we can actually play right now, there is 4 from E3 if you know where to look, and they were obtained by 2 individuals bringing a laptop to the E3 show floor and collecting the download station's wireless packets and recompiling them into ROMs. Zelda Gallery is a collection of screenshots from Zelda Twilight Princess displayed on the top screen with writing describing what's happening on the bottom, and that's about it. It came out prior to the actual release of Twilight Princess, so there may have been plot points or moments from that game that haven't been shared before, and this may have been a fun way for people at E3 to get a little sneak peek. In terms of being a tech demo, it could have been used to show off how cutscenes and story could be displayed in certain games because, I mean, what other console has 2 screens? Table hockey at least has some more interactivity than the last title, but it is a very basic game of ice hockey. You play a 1v1 match against a computer, with the twist up being there's an electric field in each goal that acts as a shield for one save of the goal. This tech demo was obviously used to show off the stylus touchscreen, and no fault of that at all, but the puck or ball, or whatever you want to call it, seems to possess a mind of its own, and at some points when hitting it clearly forward will cause it to dart backwards leading to own goals. Or maybe I'm just bad, but it happened way too much to be a coincidence. The Submarine tech demo is a lot more hands-on, with you leading the submarine through a series of winding underground caverns, dodging low ceilings and high floors, while constantly adjusting the altitude, pitch and speed of your sub, and preparing for battle against other ships. This one is a lot of fun, however I absolutely sucked at it. I'm sure the game requires you to take it slow with subtle nuances, however I just like to dash forward and panic change all of the settings, leading to a lot of game overs. If you're sitting there thinking this looks familiar, that's because this demo would later turn into Still Diver for the Nintendo 3DS. Electr Plum features a little demo where you can mess around with Super Mario Bros. Sound effects to make your own over-the-top remix, and is a decent amount of fun to jam out to. I'm just really wondering if anyone at the event was even able to hear their own remixes with how loud it must have been there. Now on to stuff that is considered lost media. Mario Face was a little mini game where you could select between Mario or Wario and be using the stylus to manipulate their face by pulling and stretching parts. This is all very similar to the title screen of Mario 64 Original and the DS version, however just more in depth. It's strange that other tech demos were saved except this one, considering it's Mario. However, if the game ever does get released, I'm sure most of us would be done with it in 10 minutes or so it's not a massive loss, but yeah. The Pikachu tech demo was a very meaty showcase, with you messing around with Pikachu in a virtual pet kind of way. There's a few different mini games here. You can stretch his face like in the Mario one, jam on a guitar or xylophone, trace Pikachu's body, talk to him, scratch off a scratch card, and measure a Magikarp that Pikachu caught and would likely later eat. Parts of this demo, mainly the exact model and stretching minigame, would later make it to Pokemon Dash's main menu. This one is a big loss that I wish someone would find. It also makes me think, why didn't Nintendo create a Nintendogs-like game but for other characters, like a virtual pet Mario or Pikachu for example. Carving is a pretty interesting demo in which you have the ability to make 4 different items, a bat, Mario, trophy, and whatever the heck this is, from wooden blocks or a watermelon for example. You could cut wherever you wanted on the object, but it would all pretty much end up the same. Once you had finished, you could decide to destroy the object or to name and display it. With the fact the items are predetermined, it's not as creative as it could have been. It's more of a click this and eventually the object will turn into what it was always going to be, which makes this less appealing. Sonic DS is definitely the most sought after tech demo from E3 that people really want. The gameplay consists of rubbing the screen with a stylus or your finger as fast as you can to make Sonic run even faster. You could jump over obstacles as well, possibly through a button press, but the game was scrapped for unknown reasons. But honestly, this could have led to some broken screens. This seems a whole lot more intense than Pokemon Dash, and I couldn't see people playing the game for more than maybe 2 missions at a time for the sheer amount of carpal tunnel and arthritis it could give. Like, it genuinely looks exhausting, but I need to try it. Special Effect is the final game from E3 that we're going to talk about today, and also the one with the least amount of information. It seems like all you really do is click different effects like fire and ice and just watch that effect play out. There's some kind of physics-based manipulation as well, with blocks and DNA-like strands you can move around, but that's about it. I'm sure it would have been fun though. And that's all the DS tech demos I decided to talk about today. Which one of these did you find the most interesting? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to like and subscribe and possibly consider becoming a channel member, and I'll see you all next time.